Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. I'm going to share with you a clip from a recent members-only live event wherein we talk about the DAO proposal to support Cryptomancer, who will complete the Secret of Praetoria. I hope you stick around with me because I have, I think, a unique angle about this proposal. I think it falls short in one significant way that I really want the team to hear and correct moving forward, even though I ultimately would support this proposal. If that sounds interesting, I hope you'll stick around, and special thanks to the members who helped create this video and this content. You're amazing. Have an awesome day. God bless. Hey guys, Infidel1258 here. Hope you're doing well. And like always, I'm happy to talk about whatever you're curious about. I think the big one is that DAO proposal. I haven't fully read it. It's only 500 words for me to read. I'm going to read it. You probably already read it, but I need to get my head around it. And I know I've heard the initial response from some of the community members, and it's spicy. And my gut reaction is one of positivity, and and not to say that I love spending DAO money, but just gut reaction. What do we have money for in the DAO except for to let the game thrive and survive, or survive if not thrive? I know the issue is more complicated than that. I'm not saying spend all the DAO money. I'm not saying give it away to the team. I'm not saying we should pay for everything. So I'll give more detailed thoughts on it after I look at the fullness of the wording of that. Before I went live, I read the first half. I mean, it sounds as straightforward as that. It's like, pay Cryptomancer. Is the DAO going to hire Cryptomancer to develop the Secret of Praetoria? So this will help with the company significantly, and we strongly urge the SPS stakeholder community to approve this proposal. Cryptomancer's rate of software development is $90, and so $14,000 a month is possible. It's possible, not necessarily. I would think that that's probably going to happen, because 160 billable hours. Probably he works. If the funding is there, I would imagine he's going to make full use of it. 15. Oops. Times 12. 180 a year, that's no joke, man. I would think, I don't know, is that a year of development? Probably. In some cases, due to time off and other circumstances, the monthly total will come in less. This proposal will last for 1 year unless the DAO votes to cancel or modify before the end. Cryptomancer is extremely detailed and organized and will provide community timesheets, updates on the progress, monthly basis, which will serve as the work invoice to the DAO. The monthly invoice will be paid in by the DAO treasurers in either USDT, USDC, ETH, BNB. If this proposal is approved, Cryptomancer will be part of the Splinterlands team, and will still be part of the Splinterlands team, and will continue to work with the rest of the team as normal to develop the Secret of Praetoria expansion. The specific tasks or features that he works on related to the expansion and their priorities will still be determined by the Splinterlands company unless a future governance proposal is passed that specifies otherwise. We understand that the DAO does not have unlimited funds, and that the community needs to be careful about and smart about how these funds are spent. So we would not even submit a proposal like this unless we felt that it was necessary, and we expect it will be ultimately benefit the community more than it will cost in the long run. If, however, the proposal does not pass, we do not plan to let Cryptomancer go. We plan to keep him on the team. However, we would be put in a very difficult position of needing to make cuts. In others, at a point where we have already reduced the team down to what we would consider a bare minimum necessary to continue at a reasonable rate of development. Okay, I have lots of thoughts. I'm going to try and gather my thoughts. Some maybe positive, but certainly some concerns or whatever. But I want to just take a second and see if anybody's hanging out in the chat. Gathering, good to see you. Gathering says, is there a sense of desperation now that is concerning? Is there a sense of desperation now that is concerning? The team seems to really need funds. Yeah, this is the bit of obviously the angle that I read that proposal. I don't even think it's a hidden desperation, is it? It's really forthright. If the DAO does not pass this proposal, we won't let him go. However, we would be put in a very difficult position, needing to make cuts in other areas at a point where we already reduced the team to what we would consider a bare minimum necessary to continue at a, quote, reasonable rate of development. I don't know how you look at that and say anything other than those words you just spoke, Gathering. You know, this is concerning. This is desperate. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not strong. It's not written in a way that is like, we're all good, but this would be great. I don't want them to put on airs or lie to us or, you know, obfuscate the reality of the situation they're in. You know, it'd be a very political thing to do to come out here and be like, you know, everything's great, but you know what might be nice is if we spend some of that DAO money on the development. I wouldn't like that. That would be, in my mind, I don't know about malicious, but you know, I wouldn't like that. I prefer the honest approach, which appears to be this, which is we're really in trouble. If we can't get this money from you, we're going to let amazing people go that we don't want to let go, that we think we need to achieve a, quote, reasonable rate of development. So if we let them go, we're going to fall below a reasonable rate of development. We're going to be slow. We're going to be, you know, what important things aren't going to happen if we don't pay this money? There's so many things I want to say there. It's really hard to sell someone. Man, I wish I helped them write this, to be honest. You don't ever want to lie. Like I said a moment ago, you don't want to lie. Things are great, but just how about some money? That would be dishonest, insincere, maybe even malicious. And yet, it's not good to project weakness either. It's actually really important to project confidence. And I would hope that you hold confidence. I think if you sat down with Matt and you were like, Matt, just me and you, is this game going under? Is Splinterlands going to be around in a year? I think he would be so confident. I really believe that. I think he would express, yeah, man, we're not going anywhere. But big question marks that we can't answer are still looming, such as whether or not there's going to be a bull market within crypto. That's not his fault. That's not on Splinterland's shoulders. It's just a broader market question that no one can answer. And so I believe that Matt would express confidence. And if that is, and the rest of the team too, I bet the ones that are there are feeling that. Yes, there's question marks. Yes, there's concerns. Yes, there's, you know, runway issues, etc. But are they confident? I would imagine so. We could talk more about that because there's been other indicators. Like Matt has said he doesn't like the position. Matt has said he's tried to find other replacement, but he can't for the price that he's getting paid. Matt has said he doesn't, you know, it's really a burden to deal with all of the demands of that role, and he's not ideal at it, but he fills that role because he needs to. None of that is really not ideal. And I want to bring it back to like a real world example that I know about to try and, I guess, articulate my point really clearly. I work for my church. I think most of you know that. And in working for my church, I oversee like 150 volunteers at one of our church sites. We're like a church of many thousands, but across many sites. And so my site is probably 1,000 people and I oversee about 150 volunteers, maybe 200. Now, there's so many things that a big church does. Here's the catch. We don't just want anybody to fill a given role. And so there's all these different roles and they all need to be filled, but we don't project that from the lens of need. This is the connection I'm trying to draw here. Splinterlands, with the language that Matt has brought and what this proposal is speaking to, is projecting need. You use the word desperation, Gathering. That is a really bad foot to put forward. When you come toward people, you project confidence and you say, there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to push the needle forward in the middle of like some of the financial uncertainty. It's okay to be real. I'm not saying lie. I'm not saying twist the truth. I'm saying reflect the confidence I believe you already walk in. Matt, you believe that the game is great. You believe it has a future. Project that confidence in the middle of a moment. Don't lie. Don't be insincere, but project that confidence as you sell the recruitment of more funds, as you sell the commitment of team members, as you sell the idea of confidence in the ecosystem. Again, I'm not saying blow smoke. I'm not saying lie. I'm not saying, misdirect or be dishonest. In fact, his honesty is part of why I trust him. I'm saying understand your own heart. Why do you love this game? Why do you believe in what this is? Why do you believe in the future, what it could be? And from that posture, you have to communicate the vision that you carry for this. Because you see, you either present the worst possible circumstance, give us this money or we're going under, or you present it in the context of an opportunity to utilize the funds that we set aside, the war chest we built, in an effective and an decisive manner that will move the needle for the success and the future thriving of the game. Those are two ways of saying the same thing, but one comes out of a posture and a place and a foundation of knowing your own conviction toward the vision and revolutionary nature of the product that you're trying to create. If the team knows that, their voice should reflect that, and the communication will inspire confidence, not concern. On one end of the spectrum, you could say, we need this money or we're going under. And that is definitely, that's not going to inspire anyone. That's going to spark fear. It's going to spark concern. It's going to spark doubt. Or you come out and say, look, we are so excited about where this is going. We love what we are achieving. We believe this is something revolutionary, what we've achieved and no other game has. And in this moment, we believe there's a bull market coming. Do you believe that? Because we do. If there's a bull market and if it touches the altcoin market and if that benefits Splinterlands, which I believe are likely, I can't say for sure, but likely, then I think we're going to do just fine. But we have to understand that in the middle of this moment, we haven't yet seen that altcoin market gain realized. And therefore, we haven't seen a connected Splinterlands bull market moment. And we haven't also seen player-based growth. I believe those things are connected. Market cap growth within Splinterlands will bring player-based growth. In my opinion, we saw that before and we'll see it again. If you track with me on the excitement of this moment, then understand we're not coming hat in hand to ask for a few pennies to get by through the winter with no vision of how we get out of this. The focus of where you put your lens on that conversation, how you craft that proposal matters. It changes people's perspective. And I think you can be real about how the financial situation is serious, and yet you don't have to say this will put us in a very difficult position. You don't need to say that. That is the equivalent of me at my church stepping on the stage and be like, whoa, guys, we're in over our heads here. We need 50 more volunteers next week or we're not going to have a church. And that would be received so poorly. That wouldn't spark inspiration. It wouldn't, excite the community. It wouldn't drive a joy to pursue that opportunity to serve. Rather, I would step on the stage and I would say, if we needed volunteers, and we often do, I'll step on the stage or I'll talk to people and I'll say things like, this is awesome and it matters. This work is eternally significant and you can be a part of it. We're doing something really cool. We're changing lives and you can have a front row seat to it. And that is the vision that, in a nutshell, that you want them to grab onto. This DAO proposal, this wording doesn't cast vision. It communicates desperation. And that's really unfortunate because I know, or I believe, maybe I don't know, but I believe the team isn't feeling hopeless. They aren't feeling, they are hopeful. They are excited. They do believe in themselves. They do believe in the future. They do believe in the crypto bull market. They do believe that Splinterlands will float during that altcoin season. So reflect that confidence. Put that foot forward. This really feels, from a presentation standpoint, a huge failure. We spent probably 20 minutes talking about why this communicates desperation and it doesn't inspire the community. That's a big problem and that needs to be fixed. That voice needs to change in all communications, not lying, not insincerity, not, holding back truths. just, clearly articulate your value proposition in a way that resonates vision and excitement. Don't come hat in hand about your needs. Communicate the opportunity in front of you. That is so important, and I'm really glad, and I think I'm uniquely poised to kind of speak on that because of my professional career. But the side piece that is really important that I want to spend a couple minutes on is, well, apart from the language of how it's presented, is this a good or bad proposal? Like, would it be wise to spend this money or not? You might think that's the bigger conversation. I don't. I think the bigger conversation is the voice and the tone and the failures of how they presented their voice lately. From Matt in the town halls talking about how he doesn't want to do the work, how he doesn't enjoy the job, how he feels really burdened by the community pressures and questions, and yet he's committed to doing it. But that is not. We don't want a reluctant leader who hates what he does. We want a leader who communicates passion and joy and vision. And I know I might be asking too much of Matt. I love Matt. If he hears this in the future, I want him to know this is not meant as judgment. It's meant as hopefully constructive critique. Because there's a way to communicate your passion and excitement while still being honest. Now, all that said, would I want to spend this money? Or $15,000 a month? Yeah, you know what? I don't see why we have a DAO fund if we're not going to spend it on things like this. Do we or don't we want to encourage the growth of the game? Do we or don't we want to see that the game reach the fullness of the vision that was projected previously? Land 2.0, guild brawls being expanded, tournaments growing, new user experience becoming more, let's say, friendly, convenient, and therefore opening the doorway to new recruits. I think the answer is yes. We want those things. So what are we holding on to a DAO fund for, if not to support the team and the game in the middle of a, if not bear market moment, at least pre-bull market moment? I just don't get it. I don't see why we're clinging to it as if it means anything. The DAO funds mean nothing if the game doesn't survive. $2 million is like roughly, I think last I heard, $2-3 million in the DAO. We could look it up, but I'm not going to pull that data open right now. Who cares? It's nothing unless it's utilized, providing leverage for a greater success. And this is a moment with this proposal where the team is saying they could really use that funding, and it'll allow development to continue forth in a reasonable rate. I mean, what are we saving it for if not a moment like this? I don't get it. And you're concerned the team is going to just spend it loosely. Well, look, who else is going to take this football and carry it across the end zone? It's either this team that we came with to bring this vision to its completion, or this vision isn't going to be brought to completion. And so the idea that we're going to hold off and wait for somebody else to kind of rescue us, I mean, this is the team, this is the moment, this is the need. I don't get it if we say no to that. I don't get it. Yes, I have my problems with how they presented it. Yes, I have my problems with their communication skills around need versus opportunity. And that's a really, really big deal, because it won't inspire us if you don't communicate your own vision. You need to know your vision. You need to know your purpose. And then you're going to inspire the community instead of communicate concern. But having said all that, I don't know what we're saving it for if we don't spend it on a moment like this.